Welcome in, everybody. How are you doing? This is The Grind. This is Elevation5280sports.com. My name is Myron McLaughlin. This is Hump Day. This is the Hump in the Hump Day. That's right. Coming at you from 11 to noon every Wednesday. We'll have this brand new show going on. It's also October, greatest month in the history. We have basketball that starts tonight, postseason baseball, football, and of course, hockey's going on. We got all four majors going on right now, and it's probably one of the greatest times of the year. It's like Christmas for adults, for adult men. Oh my goodness, everybody. I'm so excited to finally be back in the chair with the headphones on. I'll bring the energy, you bring the motivation. This is all strictly for you. This is what I do, talking sports and just delivering you guys my opinions. That's right, it is. It's an opinion. Some of the stuff is based on fact, but most of my stuff is based on opinion and how I feel. So let's go ahead and get to know each other a little bit. Let's see. Born and raised here in the Mile High city of Denver, Colorado. I got into radio 2015, so it's only been going on about 3 years. Worked for a couple big major stations. Went ahead and got in on the TV side and became a producer over there. Um, took a break. Actually, went back into construction for a little bit. Went in, um, decided I missed it. And the crazy thing about this show is, everybody, this show is brand new. Like, this show was put together like a week ago. Came to me and said, "Hey, Myron, would you like to have your radio show back?" I said, "Yes, please." And then that's why we're here. So we're gonna end up having Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, articles, websites, all that's gonna go down. You just got to give us some time as we get this whole thing figured out. We'll take it day by day and step by step. I get to know you, you get to know me. I like to keep it nice and personal on the show. I like to become friends with my audience. I think we could be good friends, in fact. More than welcome to go ahead and write the show and let me know your thoughts and opinions as well. Because that's what it is. This is America. It's an opinion based show. And, some of the stuff's based on facts, but mainly I just call it how I see it. So that's me. That's you. Let's jump right in. Speaking of which, by the way, before we even get into anything, we got tonight, Wednesday, we have a full slate. We got Nuggets back in action for the first time. I'm more excited about this Nuggets team than I have been excited about any Nuggets teams in years past. By far, probably one of this is going to be a good team. They got to just take that step that they didn't take last year, and it's all about maturity, and they're going to get there. You got the Broncos traveling to Arizona tomorrow night for a wonderful Thursday night matchup. You got the 2-4 Broncos versus the 1-5 Arizona Cardinals. Nobody can move the ball, and everybody can move the ball against them. So that's going to be awesome to watch. And then, your Avalanche. Your Avalanche they're playing decent in my opinion, but we'll get into that later. They just need to get way more shots on goal, and I don't understand why they're not doing that. Anyway, postseason baseball is in full effect. AL and NLCS are getting ready to go on to their game 4s and 5s. Unfortunately, the Rockies got bounced this year. I know we'll talk about that a little bit later. We won't get too far into it. It still hurts just a little bit, but good golly almighty, that one was a stinker. I'm excited about the future of that team as well. So, there are a lot of good things here happening in the Mile High City. But let's go ahead and jump into the one thing that's not going well in the Mile High City. The Denver Broncos. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard for me to watch the games this fall, just due to the fact that what I've seen. It's ridiculous. Over 500 rushing yards in the past 2 weeks combined. Over 300 to the New York Jets. And over 200 to Todd Gurley and the Rams. Now, I can see Todd Gurley running for 200 yards. That's Todd Gurley. But when you give up 300 rushing yards to the New York Jets in the names of Bilal Powell and Carell, are you kidding me? That's not even close to being a decent... Something's got to get figured out with this team, and I don't even know where to start. Yes, I heard all the Von Miller comments and the Vance Joseph interviews throughout the week, and we'll dive into that a little bit later as well. We have a full hour, so. But I've never seen a team that has been so unmotivated, unprepared, and plays with no pride in their game as I have seen the 2018 Denver Broncos. I'm baffled by it. I have no idea what's going on. To me, that shows a lack of leadership, whether that be head coach or player wise. There is no leadership on that team, and it shows every Sunday. And it's unfortunately it's a horrible product to watch right now, and there's nothing we can do about it. I think Vance Joseph may not be the right guy. I know a lot of you are echoing the same sentiments there. A lot of you were echoing those sentiments last year. Last year, I wanted to give him another pass and see what he could do this year. He had Trevor Siemian and no O line last year. I mean, now we don't have Trevor Siemian, and we still don't have no O line. Bowles, Leary. We'll get into that later as well. He's got a quarterback now, but the preparation just isn't there. I don't understand what's going on. The defense looks like a shell. I mean, just a complete shell of its former self. I know I wasn't expecting them to be the shutdown defense that they were when they went and won Super Bowl 50 with Peyton Manning, and that team needed that team defense to be there to have any sort of chance of doing what they were doing. But 500 rushing yards, oh my golly, I I don't even know where to begin with that. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. And then Emmanuel Sanders. Now the Bronco game, they lost by 3. That game was not as close as you think it was. It was close. They were in it, but it wasn't as. It felt like the Rams just ran all over, and they did run all over Denver's defense. Everybody runs all over Denver's defense, but man, oh man, Emmanuel Sanders, one of the most talented receivers I have ever seen play the game, and definitely one of the most talented receivers I've ever seen play the game wearing blue and orange. Unfortunately, this guy is one of the most look at me, here's what I can do, thump my chest, selfish players I have ever seen in my entire life. I understand it's football. You got to have that swag about you. You got to be able to go out there and do your thing with full confidence, because if you don't have full confidence, you're not going to go full speed. You're going to get somebody hurt or yourself hurt. And you have to play this game at full speed with a lot of emotion. And I understand that. When you catch the ball and you don't even score on that play, and you stand up and you start pointing fingers and everything against a Rams team that is the #1 team in NFL this year, in my opinion. Patrick Mahomes, you're not too far behind. We'll get into that later as well. Every point against those Rams count. So instead of having 1st and goal on the 1, now they have 1st and 10 on the 16. Obviously settle for a field goal. I think from 1st and goal on the 1, they get in. But no, Emmanuel Sanders has got to get up, point his finger, and start wagging his face. Gets a 15-yard taunting penalty. Pulls Denver 15 yards back. Obviously, the Broncos did not get in the end zone. Ended up kicking a field goal. It's a 4-point swing. Denver loses by 3. Now, I'm not saying that Emmanuel Sanders cost Denver that entire game, but I am saying Emmanuel Sanders made a very, very egregious mistake, and Denver paid for it. I mean, that was a huge, huge play. I have it written down right here in my notes. As soon as I saw it happen, I threw the pen down, and I was like, man, it is what it is. Now, here's what I think. You heard me mention Garrett Bowles earlier in the offensive line and Ron Leary. Unfortunately, Ron Leary was going to miss the rest of the year on IR with that injury. Now, the O-line that was already kind of shady is even more shady now. They got Jared Valdir coming up. Hopefully, he can do something there. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but hopefully they can protect Keenum a little bit. I watched Trevor Siemian basically become a ghost of himself, being so shell-shocked, getting rocked every day. I hope Case Keenum can help these boys pull it together, and I hope they can come out on top. And this is the perfect week to do it. This is the game to do it. You have a horrible Arizona Cardinals team. Kind of hard to call them horrible when Denver's not very good, but Arizona's not good at all either. And this is the game where you get everything right. It's a confidence game. This is what I would circle on the calendar as a confidence game. You're 2-3. It's not a good look for you. It looks like people are calling for Vance Joseph to be fired. Joe Woods is probably going to end up taking the hit, especially if this game does not go the way it should. You have the Arizona Cardinals coming in here. David Johnson has 297 rushing yards or somewhere around that all year. Now, David Johnson used to be a very, very great running back. And I don't know if I haven't really watched the Cardinals much, but I don't know if it's so much David Johnson falling off or just the Cardinals being the Cardinals and not being very well. 297 rushing yards in 6 games. Granted, injuries and stuff like that take effect, but Denver should be able to stop the run, and Case Keenum should be able to throw the ball all over the yard to his talented wide receivers, Sutton, Sanders, DT. If he can catch the ball, Denver should be able to go in there and just put it on the Arizona Cardinals. It all comes down to motivation and preparation. Now, I hope they have the motivation. You need to be motivated in this league if you're going to want to win. And I haven't seen any motivation come out of this. I've just watched Denver get walked on and walked on and walked on game after game, week after week, all year long. And it's horrible. And this is the game to do it. You heard Von Miller. I don't care about last week. We are going to kick their ass this week. That is it. You go back and listen to that interview. I think Mike Clifford did that interview. You should go back and listen to it. He is upset and he is very mad. And I do not blame him. Von Miller is the leader of that defense. He is the leader of this team. When you think of Denver Broncos, you think of 58 coming around the corner and reaching out that big hand of his and getting a strip sack fumble. Now, I hope the rest of the team follows Von Miller's example on tomorrow night. It's gonna be close. I'm not expecting a high-scoring game. I'm not expecting anything crazy. If somebody gets over 20 points, I'm gonna be highly shocked. It'll be something. All right. Anyway, folks, that was the first segment here ever brought to you in part by me here on the grind. Stick around. We'll be right back. We got barbecues to talk about and all sorts of other things. We'll dive into some NBA action, what I think the Nuggets should do this year. We'll touch up on some more football, get into the ALCS, NLCS, and we'll make our predictions for the rest of the week and all that good stuff. Stick around. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Segment 1 is in the book. Segment 2 is getting ready to get underway. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I hope you're all enjoying the show. If not, please listen. I like to eat. It'd be a good way to make sure I was able to eat. You don't have to like me as a person, but you don't have to hate me, so you can make sure I eat. Let's just pick it up where we left off. Denver Broncos. Dumpster fire in the making. And it pains me to say that. It honestly does. But I've never seen a team so unmotivated my entire life. I've never seen a team unmotivated. Really? Bilal Powell is going to run all over you for a record? Bilal Powell. It's awful. And now we're going to get into the real heart of the problem. The problem is the Denver Broncos team so far, again, still is the offensive line. I have not seen that offensive line put together a solid game, a solid drive, a solid series, a solid half, a solid quarter, a solid week. I have not seen them do any of that in a very long time. Now, they can practice real well every day. Oh, they can practice great. They have great weeks of practice all week. Best practice ever. Where is it on Sundays, Vance? I have not seen one time this team show up on a Sunday at all. Kansas City, they could have beat Kansas City, but DT can't run off the ball right. Jogs off the line. Case Keenum can't hit a boat or hit water if he fell out of a boat. KC was probably one of the best games they played, and they still found a way to lose it in the very, very end. Garrett Bowles, number 72. If I hear another holding number 72 offense, I might lose my mind. This guy was supposed to be talked up as one of the most talented linemen coming out of the draft of last year. I don't know how much stock you hold in that, but he was supposed to, or not last year, but a couple years ago. And I have not seen this dude live up to the hype of it at all. It's like, he's almost like Paxton Lynch, but with attitude. Wants to play good, tries to play good, hopes he plays good, does not play good. I don't get it. He came on when he was a rookie talking about, you don't touch my quarterback, that's like my wife, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know what to say. Garrett, everybody touches your quarterback. Everybody does. It's awful. And you do nothing but hold him all over the ground, buddy. We're just, man, put a hat on somebody. Keep your hands inside and don't grab the guy. Point blank, let's go. You think you'd figure it out. I don't know if that's a coaching technique. I don't know if it's just on Garrett Bowles and himself, which I think it is because I don't see anybody else with that problem. I don't understand it and I don't get it. If you can't play, you can't play. And unfortunately, feels like Denver's in a lot of trouble and made a lot of mistakes in the recent draft. And then you hear Vance Joseph going up there saying Garrett Bowles' holding penalty shouldn't have been called. It wasn't a hold. It was a bad call. Blah blah blah. That may be true, everybody. That may have been a bad call. I'm not sure. I have to go back and rewatch the game and all that. May have been a bad call, but when you were, it's everybody's saying that. You have what's the word I want to use here? A track record of holding repeatedly. You see a guy go down, you look up, see who's doing it. Obviously, the flag's going to come out, and that's going to be the end of that. So, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to leave Garrett Bowles alone. And then we'll dive into the Von Miller comments. I have never seen Von Miller that fired up my entire life. That dude is jacked up, and he is ready to go. I mentioned earlier, last segment, he seems mad, and he should be mad. He should be very mad. He is the leader of this team. He's the leader of that defense. When you think of Denver Broncos, again, you think of number 58, Von Miller. So when the team's playing as poorly as it did, again, allowing over 500 rushing yards in those two combined weeks, I think something like first time in NFL history. It's awful, and Von Miller is going to be the whole reason that this team turns it around tomorrow night, and he's going to bring the energy and he's going to bring the swag, and somebody had to. When they got rid of TJ Ward might not have been the player that he could have been. He was always hurt, getting older, losing stuff. Still bring the wood if you wanted to. He could lay a thump on you, but that guy was not the heart and soul of that defense, but he was a major, major factor. The guys loved him. He was always talking. He was bringing the soundtrack, him and Aqib Talib. And those two guys aren't here anymore. So, who's going to step up and take their role? And after seeing those comments by Von Miller yesterday, I think Von Miller is about ready to take over that role, and this team needs it. This team needs a leader badly. This team needs a leader so badly. And Von Miller, hopefully he could be the vocal leader for that, get some swag going, and help bring the wood, because Shane Ray's not going to play this week. Shane Ray's one of my favorite players. I absolutely love that guy. Hasn't quite lived up to expectations, but I don't think he's a bust either, to be honest with you. He's had a couple bad injuries. He is injury prone, whatever that may be. I think he might just have bad luck and gets hurt a lot. I thought he broke his ankle the way he was rolling around holding that on Sunday. It's a high ankle sprain. He's not going to play. From what I understand, it's a high ankle sprain anyway. And he's not going to play this week. And that's unfortunate because Shane Ray can also be another huge spark for this defense. And, they need it, and they need it bad. Let's see here. Again, like I said, David Johnson has 297 rushing yards. The Arizona Cardinals have 384 rushing yards as a whole. 384. What? It's week 7. They should have way more than that. Just a comparison, the Broncos have 745. But 384, hopefully Denver can figure it out, because if not, David Johnson is still David Johnson, and he's more than capable of getting that 384 in one game if Denver plays like anything they played against the Jets and last week against Todd Gurley. You heard Vance Joseph say that, they wanted to take away the pass and give them a couple of the runs underneath. I don't think he meant 208 yards worth of runs. I can tell you that much. But again, like I said before, this is the week to try and pull it all together and to get back on top. You have a really, really bad Arizona Cardinals team and a mediocre. I struggle to even say mediocre, but a mediocre Denver Broncos team. This is the game where Case Keenum gets right, where the defense gets right, where everybody regroups, comes together, and gets it right. It needs to happen if you want to even be slightly better than you were last year. This is the game where you need to turn around because it ain't getting a lot easier now. Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, they're the real deal. San Diego's coming back. Philip Rivers is seeing the father time run out on him, and he's playing with his mind on fire. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And then, like I said, Von Miller's comments, we are going to kick their ass. I hope so, Von. We actually need to. We need to see something. But can Denver actually do it? I thought they might have had a chance to do that to the Jets. No, that was complete opposite. There was no game plan for that. That was awful. So hopefully Denver can right the ship this week and go out and get it. And so that is going to lead me to my Thursday night prediction. Oh man, this is a toss-up. It's a hard one to pick because I don't know. Arizona going to win 10-9. Denver going to win 6-3. What's the score on that? I actually have the Denver Broncos squeaking it out in the desert, 21-17. I hope it goes through. I mean, Denver needs a victory now more than anything in the entire world. So if they want any hope of making this somewhat of a season that can put faith and hope back into this Denver Bronco fan base, this week needs to happen. Without this week, it's going to be a very long and cold winter, everybody, and I understand that. So hopefully this team can put it together and get going. We made it. That's halfway through. That's the hump in the middle of the hump in the hump day. Thank you again so much, everybody, for listening. This is The Grind. This is Elevation5280sports.com. My name is Myron McLaughlin. We'll be right back. We'll talk more Broncos. We'll talk a little bit Nuggets. We'll talk Rockies. We'll touch on the Avs, and we'll get into this AL and NLCS series so far, and we'll talk a little bit of baseball as well. Welcome back in, everybody. Here we are. We're on the back half of it. We did it. We got halfway through the first show of The Grind here on Elevation5280sports.com. I'm your host, Myron McLaughlin. It's been great. I just want to thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in and listening, and giving me the opportunity to do the things I love to do, and that's literally talk to you about sports and just get my opinions out there and just have a conversation with two buddies catching up over a tall one after a long, hard day. And I just thank you so much. And so, speaking of thanking you guys, I'm not going to thank you on this one. Walk Off Sports, located off of 1780 South Buckley Road down there in Aurora, is having its Customer Appreciation Barbecue on October 27th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come on down. There's going to be good food, prizes, giveaways, deals. I think a Marici demo production's going on there. It's going to be great. I'm going to be there. Michael Spillane, the owner of the station, is going to be there. We're going to be broadcasting live from there. I think we're only going to be on air for about an hour. And then we're going to get out, mingle around with some people, meet you guys, meet all your lovely faces that allow me to do what I love to do. And so I'm excited. Bring the kids, bring the wife, bring the family. Come alone. Say you're going to the store. Do something. Get out of the house. Come on down. Have a hot dog. Have a bratwurst. Have a burger. And just reload for next year, or get some things you need for this year, or just come down to mingle and check out the store, man. It's going to be great. Joe Imbriani is a great guy, runs the store very well. Come on down, have some fun, meet me, meet Joe, meet Mike. Hang with the fellas, man. Dads, you deserve it too. Come out, enjoy yourself, relax, pamper yourself, and let's go. Let's get into it. Another thing I'm excited about. Now let's just jump right into exciting things, since we just spent the first half hour being utterly depressed. The Denver Nuggets start playing basketball again tonight. That's right, folks. The Denver Nuggets take on the Los Angeles Clippers. Unfortunately, it's in LA tonight, 8:30 Mountain Time. It's gonna be great. This team was so close last year. I mean, on the cusp. They actually probably should have made the playoffs. It shouldn't have never came down to that end of the year, win one, win in, you're in, lose and go home between us and the Timberwolves. There's about 4 to 6 games on that schedule that I found last year that they probably should have won. If they win one of those games out of those 4 to 6, they're not in that position last year, and that's just a maturity thing. Leadership. This team is made up of so many young guys, and it's the way they play and the way they handle themselves is simply amazing. Jokic is an up and coming superstar. He's not there yet. He's not a superstar. He's a rising star, and he's on the cusp of stardom. And I think this is the year he can go to stardom and take that next jump into superstardom. And I'm excited to watch it. I mean, this guy he's just a force, and he's a beast, and there ain't nothing I'm more excited about than Denver Nugget basketball this fall. Michael Porter Jr. The Nuggets got him in a lottery draft. A lot of teams were scared of him because of the back injuries and how often he played at Missouri, which was hardly ever last year. A little bit older. He's not your typical one and done that you're seeing a lot more lately. I think he was at the University of Missouri for a couple of years. Of course, he had that back injury, kind of scared a lot of teams away. He fell to the Nuggets. If he can be half of what he was in college, is going to be a good team. If he can get back to playing how he was and what he's expected to play at, this team is going to be dominant. Paul Millsap is back. He's healthy. When last time he was healthy, he was a force in Atlanta, an all-star in Atlanta. Signed here for outrageous NBA money in Denver. And then they re-signed Will Barton. Now everybody rolls their eyes, Will Barton. You don't understand the value of having a veteran leadership on that team. He may not, gather all the minutes and things like that. And you may not score 30 a game, but make no mistake. Will Barton has an effect on this team, and it's not a bad thing for this team to have. Will Barton to lean on and kind of pick his brain about and stuff like that. So I'm excited about this team. I'm excited to see what they can do. They should be better. This is going to be crazy. LeBron James just went titleless this year in the free agency period. Blah, 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 whatever. The decision part 2 or part 3, or I don't even know what decision we're on right now. I honestly think the Denver Nuggets are going to be better than the LeBron James-led Lakers. You heard it here first. You heard it from me, Myron McLaughlin, on the grind, elevation5280sports.com. On October 17th, I see no reason why the Denver Nuggets shouldn't be able to be 3 to 4 games better than the LA Lakers. They should be able to at least make the playoffs. I'm thinking somewhere like 4th to 6th seed, they should be able to do it. Unfortunately, it's a Golden State, Boston, Philly league right now, and that's the way it's going to be. But, I mean, if you think about it, the Nuggets are on the rise. LeBron James is on the back end of his career. He's in LA with a Laker team that has hardly any talent around him. You got Lonzo Ball. Woo! The guy couldn't hit boat if he fell out of a water, or hit water if he fell out of a boat. Kyle Kuzma, Lance Stevenson. I mean, San Antonio Spurs are not who they used to be. They're falling off, obviously. They got rid of Kawhi Leonard. He's up there in Canada hanging out with the Biebs and Drake. So there's no reason the Denver Nuggets shouldn't be a very good team for the next handful of years. Now, it's the NBA. I get it. Super teams. You can argue. Here's another bold prediction. In the West, it's going to be Golden State. In the East, now the East, this kind of is a bold prediction. I'm going to go with Boston in the East to take on Golden State in the West. Obviously, Golden State, I think, is going to win. But there you go. The NBA is just not. There's no parity in it anymore. It's fun to watch your team get there, but unless you're a Golden State fan, which all of a sudden there's more Golden State fans than there was, Super Bowl 48 Seahawks fans. So if you're a fan of those teams, it's fun. If you're a fan of any other team like the Nuggets stuff, yeah, it's fun to see them try and do well, but we have no aspirations or no legitimate hopes of trying to win an NBA championship this year, and that's sad, but it is what it is. So
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Jimmy Butler. Did anybody catch that interview we did last week? Oh my goodness. it, Listen to it. I mean, you guys may seem. I don't know how you guys are. At first, I sat there and I was like, wow, man. This guy ran his mouth trying to get out of town, and now he shows up to practice for once, and he's going to sit there and call out the coaches and the players and the GM and stuff and pound his chest and scream, "You need me." And then I thought about it. They do need him. And he's got every right to have the leverage. He has the leverage, and there's nothing wrong with that. So he's not wrong. They do need him. He is good. He's great. And unfortunately, it doesn't sound like he's going to be there long. It sounds like he might be heading to Miami, from what I've gathered. Just watching the shows and stuff like that, he might be heading to Miami. Um, yeah. Now the Colorado Avalanche. All right, everybody, welcome back in. Fourth and final segment here of the first ever episode of The Grind on Elevation5280sports.com. My name is Myron McLaughlin. Thank you again so much for tuning in, everybody. I'm just beyond thankful to be able to have this opportunity just to talk to you about sports. Again, we'll move on from that sad and sappy stuff. We'll get going. Colorado Avalanche, man. Another up and coming, or not the Avalanche, I'm sorry. Colorado Rockies. That was a tough one to watch in the beginning of the month. That 3-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I understand Milwaukee's a very, very good team with an excellent bullpen headlined by Hader, Soria. Jeffers was real good in the regular season, hasn't so far in the postseason. Just a couple. I mean, we're just gonna touch on it briefly because it still brings a gut punch to me. They scored 2 runs that series. 2. They played 3 games. You only scored 3 runs in 3 games, or 2 runs in 3 games. That you can't be doing that, especially in playoffs. And here's where I get so frustrated with this team. Now I get it. You're not going to do something you haven't been doing all year, and you're not going to try and change it up. But man, you're in the playoffs. You're in October. Every run counts. Every pitch is a. I mean, you're holding your breath with every pitch. One swing of the bat can change the course of history at this point. I mean, this is literally what legends are made of, and things are crazy in October. You get a runner on second with nobody out, and nobody's bunting them over, nobody's playing small. I don't understand that. It drove me insane. It drove me insane all year. It really drove me insane. Trying to watch watch playoff baseball, and you gotta manufacture runs. Bud Black. I mean, a lot of these games are decided by 1 or 2 runs or less. Don't look at the Boston series. So you got a runner on second with nobody out. Throw down a bunt, move him over to third. Now you got 2 out. I think you move 1 out. I mean, come on, you got to move that runner over. You got to play small ball. And the next time I see, and obviously we have until now next April, but the amount of times I've watched guys on 3 and 2. And this is everybody: Charlie, Nolan, Cargo, Trevor Story, Ionetta, Desmond, everybody. 3-2, a slider 3 feet out of the zone, and they're swinging wildly at it. I don't understand it. No small ball and no plate discipline. I don't know if the lights got too big. I don't know if the lights got too bright. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but this team's got to figure it out. But here we go. I mean, it's getting so close to the end of the baseball playoffs. You got Boston heating up, Boston and Houston. Now that is a series that's going to be insane. Quick disclaimer: I dislike any team from Boston, and I dislike any team from LA. And if you want to at me, go ahead and at me, because I don't really care. I can't stand Tom Brady, and I can't stand the Dodgers. So how do you like me now? Anyway, Boston and Houston. This is going to be an insane series. Boston's jumped up on them last night, taking the game in Houston. But I honestly think Houston has the better pitching staff and is prepared to go longer into a playoff run than the Boston Red Sox. Now, Boston was the best team in baseball this year, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, now David Price is, welcome back to October, David Price. He's still the same October David Price that we've always known. And it's getting intense out there in Boston and Houston. But I honestly think Houston, with their bats and their pitching staff, it's going to be close. But I think this thing's going to go all seven, and I think Houston honestly is going to take it in the end. It's obvious that the Milwaukee and LA series is heating up as well. That's a very good series going on. It's starting to get a little heated. You saw last night Machado and Aguilar get into it as Machado ran over the back of his foot. Whatever. I'm not a huge Manny Machado fan. I'm really not a huge Manny Machado fan now that he's wearing the Doyer blue. Um, so that's going to be a good one as well. Now that it's October baseball, so what comes down in October in baseball, it's pitching, pitching, pitching. Regular season you could be hitting, 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 but when you get into October, it's all about pitching, and you see it year in and year out. Every single team with the deep pitching staff is going to go pretty far in the playoffs. And between the Brewers and the Dodgers, with Kershaw struggles, Kershaw struggles in the playoffs, brings a smile to my face. It's going to be, I think this one's going to be Milwaukee in 6, to be completely honest with you. I mean, that bullpen that Milwaukee has is just ridiculous. Jeffers is struggling in the playoffs, but there's plenty of other guys that can take care of it. You got Hader. Arms and legs go everywhere, but the ball goes straight. Soria has been pretty good. Jhoulys Chacin, y'all remember him? He was supposed to be a bullpen guy. He ended up making over, I think 30 starts for him this year, winning over 10 games. I mean, Jhoulys Chacin has been nothing but short of amazing in October this year, which is, good for Jhoulys Chacin. That's great. I'm so excited about that. So here we go. This is the part of the show where we get towards the end. I've already made my football prediction. I think the Broncos are going to take it 21-17 over the Arizona Cardinals in a squeaker. World Series predictions. I think Milwaukee's going to take it from LA in 6. I think Houston's going to outlast Boston in 7. Milwaukee-Houston series. That one's going to be tough. I feel like experience outweighs everything. So I have a feeling that it's going to be Houston ended up raising the crown for the second straight year, and that's fine. Good for Houston. Good for them. Basketball predictions, I already threw it out there. I predict the Nuggets are going to be 3 to 4 games better, at least, than the LeBron James LA Lakers. And hockey predictions, I don't even know where to begin with that. I think the Avalanche fall into the 7th or the 8th seed of the playoffs. So that's everybody will take that. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm excited about it. And it's time to go. This is it, folks. We got all the sports coming up. This again, I mentioned it before in the beginning of the show. This is the greatest month of sports watching history. It's going to be great. I'm excited for it. There's a lot of good things happening this month, so please keep your eyes on it. I think we have Boston and Houston tonight, or who plays tonight? I don't even know if there's any baseball on tonight. Oh, no, there is. I think it's a day game between the Dodgers and the Brewers. That's going on. 2-2 series tied there. So that'll be interesting. Make sure you tune into that here. That comes on in just a couple hours. Now that I remember correctly. Again, Denver Nuggets. That's going to be an intense game. I seriously suggest tuning in for that. If you're excited about basketball, be excited about the Denver Nuggets, folks, because the Denver Nuggets are up and coming, and they're going to be an excellent team. So please keep your eyes on it. Again, don't forget October 27th down at 1780 South Buckley Road. Walkoff Sports is holding their customer appreciation barbecue. Y'all are more than welcome. Me and Mike Spillane will be down there doing a show. Doing a live broadcast about an hour. Come on down, have some hot dogs, some food, giveaways, fun games. You get to meet me. Just come on down. It's going to be a great time. Again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been beyond thrilled with everything you guys have allowed me to do. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm feeling it. Hopefully you guys are feeling it. Let's get together. Let's do this. Let's build a brand. Let's build a brand together. The Grind. The way that name came together was actually hilarious, by the way. Again, like I mentioned before, this show was put together very quickly, and I'm very pleased with the way it's turned out and the amount of time it's been put together. The name of the show almost became Screw It, but it's not. It's The Grind. So tune in every Wednesday, 11 to noon, The Grind. We're gonna start building social media pages. We're gonna have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Hopefully, we can get all that up and running soon. We'll have an email, so you're able to email the show questions and stuff like that. I'm not sure if any of you guys are huge Colorado Eagle fans. It sounds like we might be having a weekly segment um, with my good buddy Drew Phelps up there in Loveland, talking about the Colorado Eagles and what they do there. He's very in tune there, does a lot for that organization in and out. So very good stuff coming up here on the pike. It's going to be great, folks. I'm excited about it. Let's build it. Let's build a brand. Let's do this together. Me and you. Let's go. Yeah, so thank you again so much for tuning in. My name is Myron McLaughlin. This has been The Grind. This has been elevation58sports.com. Tune in next week. We'll jump into more. We'll recap what the Broncos did or didn't do. We'll also recap the week before. We'll recap the week ahead. And this is great. Love you guys. Y'all are beautiful. Have a great day. Enjoy your hump day. Have a good one. Colorado Avalanche are already full effect. They're already playing. Still don't know about this team. I mean, last year was great. But again, this year, I mean, that Calgary game a couple days ago was hard to watch. They jump out to a 2-0 lead. You end up losing 3-2. Thank gosh for Semyon Varlamov, who was able to stand on his head in net for the last 2 periods of that game and somehow salvage a point getting into overtime. And then last night with the New York Rangers, you were down 2-0, or you were down, you come back, you tie it at the end of 2. It's 2-2 heading into the third. Then you go to overtime and you lose 3-2. Again, outshot 43-33, I think. Again, you have got to start getting the puck on that more, and you've got to start getting the puck away from Varlamov more. It's not fair to him to throw all this on him every game. I mean, you guys remember a couple years ago when this team had literally no defense whatsoever. The poor guy he was stopping 50 to 60 shots a game because nobody can get the puck away from him, and he was doing a dang well good job of it as well. So that man deserves to get paid. Hopefully the Avalanche can figure it out, skate hard. They have, another up-and-coming team, another young group of guys that make up the core of that team, and they're talented. Oh my goodness, is that team talented. They got a couple good draft picks this year. They can make some splash if they just got to get some defense and get the puck on net more. No, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a big hockey guy and I know strategy and all that, because I don't. I like hockey. Hockey's fun to watch, especially playoff hockey. I'm not an X's and O's hockey guy like I am with all the other sports, so please forgive me on that. And then we got the AL and NLCS. So I know it still hurts. We're going to talk about it briefly coming up next segment about why the Colorado Rockies refuse to play small ball and bunt and move guys over and only score 2 runs in it was a 3-game series as they got swept. But come on, you got to do a little bit better than that. Now I understand Milwaukee's got one of the better bullpens in the league, man, and they are really, really dominant with Hader and Jeffers and all that. But you've got to do better at that in October. Bud Black and Colorado Rockies. You got to play baseball. We'll get into that more coming up. Last and final segment coming your way here on The Grind. This is elevation58sports.com. My name is Myron McLaughlin. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back, and we'll wrap up the show. Thank you.